Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Anthony Avina, and this is episode 3 of Honor Quest Magazine's weekly Riff. Today, we have a few topics to discuss. First up is DC Comics and the number of moves they're making in the entertainment world lately. Um, this past week, we've heard announcements for two brand new DC Comics shows on two different networks. The first is Fox, with a show in the works about Gotham City and Jim Gordon, which is known as Commissioner Gordon in the comics, when he was just a young detective. This would be before Batman, of course. So while it would still have a number of DC Comics villains and characters, there would be no said superheroes per se as yet. But yeah, that's another show coming, and then NBC is working on a pilot for Constantine, which is a much darker character for DC Comics. This guy is involved in the occult, the supernatural, and he's a con man and a detective as well. He battles evil, um, but he's always looking out for himself. There's a film in 2005 with Keanu Reeves, which I thought was pretty good. But I'm actually really eager to see this character come to television, especially with Guillermo del Toro recently this year saying that he has plans for a Justice League Dark film, which would include John Constantine. So those shows are in the works. There's also a rumor going around that Warner Brothers is looking to cast Wonder Woman for Man of Steel 2. There's a casting call for a young female who's very fit in shape, athletically built, and will need to handle her own stunt work. And her physical description matches a lot of the points of Wonder Woman. There's also been some insider source claiming that Wonder Woman is the character they're looking to cast, but of course, as of right now, this is all speculation. But it would be nice to see that, so that it would be a nice little lead-in to a Justice League film after Man of Steel 2. Those are the big casting this week. Today, it was announced that Dylan Neal was cast on CW's Arrow as Dr. Anthony Ivo, which is a huge casting because Dr. Ivo is one of the Justice League's biggest villains in the comic world. Dr. Ivo created the android Amazo, which replicated all of the Justice League's powers and abilities and nearly destroyed them. It's said that in the episode he's come in, which is going to be episode 5 of season 2, he's going to be featured in the flashback parts of the show on the island with Oliver and his companion Slade Wilson. And on the island, Dr. Ivo was a scientist on the breakthrough of a major discovery, and he will stop at nothing to get what he wants. In the comics, not only did he create the Amazo android, but he also was immortal, which is an interesting lead-in because episode 5 is about the League of Assassins as well. And the head of the League of Assassins, Ra's al Ghul from the Batman notoriety, is also immortal. So could there be a little lead-in with the build-up toward a Ra's al Ghul situation, the Batman crossover? With Stephen Amell recently saying that if he was offered a role in the Justice League film, he would mop the floors to get into it. It would be really nice if to see Arrow kind of tying together the DC characters so that we can see the television play out some of the characters that might not necessarily make it onto film before Justice League. Um, and with the announcement that they're going to have the Flash and be introducing powers slowly into this world, it would be really nice to see how they do this now that Dr. Ivo has been announced as a character. So yeah, DC Comics is slowly starting to make their way into the world with Marvel recently releasing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. onto television and, of course, dominating the box office with hits like Avengers and Iron Man 3 and the upcoming Thor, The Dark World. Speaking of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was the highest drama premiere in the last 4 or 5 years. They got 12.2 million viewers on the premiere, which is amazing. I have seen the premiere and it was great. A lot of action, a lot of amazing humor and wit that everyone who's ever watched a Josh Whedon show has come to know and love. Great to see Clark Gray come back as Agent Phil Coulson. He was one of my favorite new characters to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And yeah, it was great to see him. And I think they have really strong characters. The cast really blends well together, and they got some great stories. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this show fleshes out and how it's going to affect the film world. Um, Also, they premiere this week. The other drama that premiered this week is The Blacklist with James Spader on NBC, which was phenomenal. James Spader is just eerie and uh, very. There's a creepiness about him, but he's one of those characters you can't tell which side he's on. I don't want to give any plot points away for those of you who haven't seen the show yet, but he was fantastic in it. I think the cast is really, really rich and diverse, and I'm actually really excited that Harry Lennox is on there as well. He being the general from Man of Steel this summer, but also being one of the actors from Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions, one of my favorite film series of all time. He's fantastic in the show. Also, last night was the premiere of The Crazy Ones, which earned about over 15 million viewers last night. Pretty impressive. That one was on CBS, starring Robin Williams and Sarah Michelle Gellar. Fantastic cast, and just really on top. Sorry, my cord's falling out. But yeah, great premiere for them. Also, the Michael J. Fox show was going head to head at the 9 o'clock slot last night, and while I thought the Crazy Ones delivered a great comedic performance over the Michael J. Fox show, I've always loved Michael J. Fox, and I'm so happy to see him back on television. I think his performance was spot on, and I enjoyed that he was poking fun at himself while also calling attention to the issue. And it was a great family comedy. I enjoyed it. Also, our favorite reality show, The Voice, premiered on NBC this week. Just some great performances. Already building up who we want to win in our heads, but we still got weeks to go of tryouts and everything. Miss Shakira and Usher, because we personally here on Request Magazine love Shakira and Usher. But CeeLo is great. He's phenomenal, and we love Christina and CeeLo and everyone. We're really looking forward to Usher and Shakira coming back next season. But until then, everyone go check out season 5 of The Voice right now on NBC. What else? Casting finally taking place for the next Jurassic Park film, Jurassic World, with Bryce Dallas Howard being talked to play the lead in that film. There's one other character still to be cast that's like a must-have, according to sources, but she's a fantastic actress, gorgeous, really well-versed, and we would love to see her portray the lead character in that. Really excited that the series is coming back after all these years. So, and finally, we'll take our first little dip into the comic book world. So you know, this year Marvel had a big relaunch of its titles with the Marvel Now comics, kind of reintroducing a lot of their main characters and their stories, and fleshing out some of the stories that led to a lot of rewrites of the history of Marvel due to time travel and paradox and all this stuff. But now it looks like She-Hulk is finally going to get her own comic series titled She-Hulk. For those of you who don't know, She-Hulk is Bruce Banner's cousin, Jennifer Walters. She's an attorney, and she was exposed to gamma radiation when she was given a blood transfusion from Bruce. The series will focus on one and done stories, just one story each issue. Her struggling with her life as an attorney and being She-Hulk. But there's also talks of 3 big story arcs for the series. And there's also talk that a big A-list superhero is going to show up in the very first story. So, guys, look for that. If you guys want more info on the previous shows we talked about last week, like Sleepy Hollow and Brooklyn Nine-Nine and New Girl and all that, and Sons of Anarchy, go check out our website. I'll have a link for that in the description below, and on the site you'll probably find a page where you'll see my Tumblr where I post reviews all the time. Finally, Dexter. Talk about an emotional finale. Don't want to give any spoilers because it's something you got to watch to believe, but out of all of the possible scenarios I envisioned for Dexter, that ending was the most heartbreaking. And well written, very well acted by Michael C. Hall and Jennifer Carpenter. Just phenomenal way to end it. Really tugged at your heartstrings, and great to see the transition of this character that started out as a emotionless killer and ended up becoming human. But you'll find out as you watch the finale that there was a price to that humanity. So, fantastic Dexter, and thank you for 8 great seasons. Thank you Showtime for providing such an amazing show, and we'll miss you guys. Here's hoping that we'll see Dexter in a spin-off in the future, and hope the cast enjoys a nice little break, a well-deserved break, after 8 great years. So thank you guys. I think that's going to do it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. That was episode 3 of the Weekly Riff for On Request magazine. Question of the day. CW has been making a lot of casting for DC Comics characters in their show. Bronze Tiger is going to be showing up, Amanda Waller, Sin. Now they're going to have the League of Assassins and Dr. Ivo and The Flash. With all those characters being announced, and Black Canary being announced, which character, both either superhero or villain or just regular Joe, would you like to see on the show next? Would you like to see a Superman character make its way in there? You want to see a really dark, twisted villain? Something more of a serial killer like Victor Zsasz? Who would you guys like to see in there? Leave comments or video responses below. Look for links to our site, our other YouTube channels, my personal YouTube channel, and more. Also, one of our contributors and my sister, Avina, is having her birthday tomorrow, September 28th. Everyone, if you guys could please just leave comments on this video wishing her a happy birthday, I appreciate it. Thank you guys, and this is Anthony Avina with On Request magazine, and that was episode 3 of the Weekly Riff. I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.